I don't usually start off my videos in the bathroom, but I am trying something new with my hair, so I figured I would share the reveal with you guys. I have been curling my hair a lot more recently just because I'm trying to feel more like myself and try to do my hair, do my makeup, get back to feeling normal and just good. So I have been curling my hair a lot more recently, and I've been trying some different methods of doing that. So I have like a curling iron and stuff, which is kind of what I've been doing, but I've been wanting to do heatless curls for a while. Couple of issues with that though. So hold on, let me show you what I actually have been using that's not working for me. So hold on one second. Okay, so I got these at TJ Maxx like 2 years ago, and I've tried it numerous times. So it is just heatless curls. This is like the tag. It still has a tag on it, but I've used it. I've tried it multiple times. I just think that my hair is not good for it. My hair is very fine. I think that's why these don't work for me. I have tried, I think if it wasn't in satin, it would work. But it just falls right out. There was time, it takes a lot for me to be able to actually get my hair like around this and holding, but then you're supposed to sleep in it, and as I've slept in it, they just come out and I get so mad. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning and I end up just taking these out because one, I can't sleep. It's just, I already have enough sleep problems as it is, and this makes it worse. And then they just come out, and it's just such a disaster. It doesn't work, it comes out, and so I've stopped using this. I've tried it numerous times over the couple of years that I've had it, and it's just not working for me. So that has led me to this, which my husband is calling me Princess Leia all night. But it is just the sock method, which it was significantly easier to actually put my hair in because it is not satin, it's not soft. I did use like the thick kind of fuzzier socks, so it was significantly easier. I have no idea how they're going to turn out because I've never done this, but like I said, I wanted to share it with you, the big reveal. And now that I'm standing here before we do the big reveal, I want to show you a couple of things I added to my bathroom. I just did it yesterday, and if you know me, if you've been here a while, you know that projects take me a while. I get distracted, and I jump from project to project, but also I just kind of take my time with things and add things as I find them. So I added a couple things, and I want to share that with you really quick before we get to the hair. So let me show you. Okay, hoping that it works this way and you can kind of see. I'll flip it around too, but anyway, so all I did was I twisted my hair around the sock in slightly a different way from what I saw online because I was hoping for slightly different results in terms of like the front of my hair. It's supposed to just come undone. But of course it's not. I don't know if it's just because I wound it kind of tight. So maybe that's why. Oh. So I think just first glance, I think I'm gonna have to just fix a couple things, and it's probably because with how I curled the top. So I'll have to fix up here, but honestly, to not have to do my whole head is kind of nice. I just feel like it damages it whenever I do it. Okay, let me do this one. I'll turn you guys around and we'll do it a little closer. Okay, so see how I have it like kind of wound here? It's supposed to like, you're supposed to jiggle it and it just kind of comes undone, which I'm assuming, I don't know if it's like the material or just how tight I did it, but just kind of unwinding it. Sorry, it's like harder for me to see. Okay. So like I said, I think initially, and I think it's because of how I wound it up here. Like I said, I wound it a little differently up at the top because I was hoping to kind of like make it a little curlier. But I think if I'll just fix that and you know, the bottom is really good. Okay, so it still will come down a little bit and it won't be as curly, but I like it. Initially, I think this will work. Something where I just had to fix like right here, and like I said, I think it's just because of how I wrapped up here. I did it differently than I had seen online, only because I was hoping to kind of, from what I saw, it didn't seem like, you know, this piece was like curled. So I was trying to wrap it a little differently for that. Anyway, so that is that. I like how it turned out. I have some new earrings, which I think are super cute. For today, I have a couple of things to do around the house. It is a full school day for us, so I have to do that. And oh, I have something in my eye. Anyway, so I have to do that with the kids, and honestly, we have a little bit more to do than normal. It has been an insane month. I'm trying to think. So several weeks ago, like a month, I think, Kyle came home sick from work. He had a stomach bug that he had gotten from someone at the shop. And almost immediately I got that stomach bug. And so we had the stomach bug and no one else had it at that time. And then a couple days later, our daughter had it, and it's slowly moving through the house. So anyway, the last few weeks that has been moving through our house, along with a cold. So exactly a week after Kyle came home with the stomach bug, like as soon as we were over it, basically, he came home with a cold and like a really bad congestion cold. I did not have like as much of a runny nose or stuffed up or anything, but I had a really bad cough and I had a sore throat, and that was really difficult to deal with immediately after surgery, because that is literally when I was dealing with it, was right after surgery. I started showing symptoms of it the day before surgery, and I was worried that they were going to cancel it. However, they ran all my tests and everything, and it didn't come up with anything but just a cold. And so they proceeded with the surgery, and I came out of the surgery with, so I had the breathing tube put in, so my throat was sore from that. But also I had this cold, and it is a lot of coughing. And when you are recovering from like abdominal type of surgery, that is very difficult. So anyway, I'm finally over it. I'm finally feeling so much better. And honestly, I feel like it didn't really impact me as much, and that might just because I had just had surgery. I had, you know, painkillers and stuff like that. So that might be why I didn't seem to feel much of the illness aside from the coughing. So I'm, I guess, a little lucky for that, maybe. But anyway, it did also go through our household. Theo was sick the week before Easter, so he had some fevers, and it just kind of lingers with a cough, so he's had that, and he's just kind of starting to get that cough to clear up. And then almost immediately after that, Lincoln got it, so he was really, really sick on Easter, actually. It has been making its way through our house, and because of that, we have had so much going on. I have not really felt like well enough and you know, certain kids have not felt well enough to actually like finish school and stuff, or we do like little pieces at a time, and we need to kind of catch up and kind of get right back on track with our end of school goals. So we need to do that today. I have a doctor's appointment later this afternoon. So my mom is coming over to kind of hang out with us for a little bit, and then she's also going to be taking me to my doctor's appointment. So that should be fun, hanging out with her and going and doing that. I'm also really excited because so while I'm sitting around resting, I'm on Facebook Marketplace, and I found a really cool like little set of furniture for outside, and I haven't even shown you that. We tore down some of our stuff outside on the back patio, and we're going to be kind of fixing it up and doing a couple of different things with it. I'll show you later, but I got a set of furniture that I am so excited about. And Kyle will be picking that up tonight while I am at my doctor's appointment. So I think I'm gonna end up having to like redo it, you know, like kind of touch it up with paint, and have to get some new cushions and stuff for it. But other than that, I'm like super excited for it. But yeah, so that is kind of our day so far. I want to make this focaccia. It's like a donut, like a dessert type of breakfast focaccia bread. I say dessert and breakfast because, you know, they're hand in hand. Our family in particular always does like breakfast stuff for dessert, and I'm gonna try putting that together this morning before school, so we have plenty of time. I think it does a couple of rises, so that will allow us plenty of time, you know, throughout the day to bake this, get it done, and I'll just kind of do it in my downtimes for school and doctor's appointments and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, enough of the chatting. Let's get to it. Lincoln just wanted oatmeal for breakfast this morning, so I got that ready for him. I'm sure Theo is going to want either this or yogurt. That's usually their choice for breakfast. I think I'm gonna go do my nails before school. And then also I have been working on kind of slowly planting some things. So I have these all going. I need to water these and then put them outside. This is an experiment. These are those, I don't know what they're called. I never do, and I didn't all last year either, but they're that vine plant that grew with like the purple flowers and like the purple beans. I'm not sure if they're gonna work, but I did take like some of the seeds from last year, so I'm trying, this is like a test one to see if I can regrow them from that or if I need to get more seeds. So a little bit of a spoiler alert, but my garden has been doing really well. I'm actually very happy with like the progress that I've done. I have not planted a lot of things in my actual garden. I have some things, and you'll see that a little later in the video when Lincoln helps me plant some things, but we have a bunch of different pots because that's really all I'm able to do at this point. So I have a bunch of different pots and seedlings and everything like that all over my back patio, all over my front patio, and everything is going really well. So I'm super excited for the garden this year. I'm wanting to get started on that focaccia bread pretty early this morning because it has a couple of different rises, and like I said, I have a bunch of things going on. I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm hoping to get all of this done kind of in between the stuff that I have going on. So I'm gonna get it started, and I brought the boys into the kitchen to work on their math and their language arts, stuff like that, while I am working on my focaccia bread. This is a pretty common thing where my younger two boys will pretty much follow me around if I have errands that I'm running or different chores and stuff around the house. If I am baking stuff or working on something in the kitchen or gardening or whatever it may be, a lot of times they will kind of just trail after me and we work on school together as we go. That is one thing I absolutely love about homeschooling, is you can really just pick it up wherever you left off and wherever you are in that moment. So Theo is 6, and he can usually use some guidance still. He's in first grade, and he, he sometimes needs me to read instructions or, whatever it may be. He still needs guidance. So a lot of times he kind of follows me wherever I am, and we just do school together. Today he is learning about measuring a foot with his ruler. So he's going around the house and finding different things that he can measure that are about a foot long. And then Lincoln, he doesn't necessarily need me for guidance. He does very, very well. He is finishing up his level 3 this year, and he does very well by himself, but I feel like oftentimes he wants like a companion. So he usually will like follow me around and stuff too. He's usually right behind Theo, but it's not so much like to read instructions or anything like that. He's pretty good about doing individual work and whatever it may need, but he often, I notice he'll be like, oh, can you help me with this? And it's really that he doesn't need help. It's just that he wants someone to kind of work with him. So a lot of times he is right there with us working on school too. I'm finishing up with the dough for the focaccia bread, and the recipe said to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in a sunny spot. So that is what I did. I have it in this nice, bright, sunny window, and that is the first rise. Again, it will have a second rise before it goes into the oven. So we're getting started on that. The boys are still working on school, and I don't know if you remember because it has been so incredibly long, but I made this paper mache like goose. I wanted it as a decoration. I could not find them anywhere. We were like snowed in when I did this. So it has been so long. I put it on top of my fridge and not necessarily forgot about it, but I just hadn't wanted to deal with it. And if you know me, I jump around with projects and I just kind of get to it when I get to it. And if you can tell what song we're jamming out to, so I always have music on, and oftentimes that is why you won't hear like the background noise, because I don't want my videos taken down. But anyway, so the boys were working on school. I was painting this goose, and I'm not painting it all black. Well, I am here, but this is like a base coat. I like going in afterwards with other colors. I feel like it makes it look more antique. So I'm going to coat the entire goose in black, and then I'll go over it. I'm thinking I'm just going to do white and do like a normal, white goose, but you'll see that I actually don't finish it again. I put it off for another time, but that's pretty much just because I ran out of time this day. Maybe because I was putting on a full kitchen concert for my boys. I love listening to, okay, so I think the station is called like Mellow 60s or something. My husband and I both listen to this channel whenever we're like in the kitchen doing stuff on our Alexa. And so if you can guess what song I am singing to Lincoln, I'll give you a high five at the end of this video, an air high five. But they were both entertained with my kitchen concert. So I painted the entire goose and sang to the boys. We finished up school. Now my mom is here. She missed the whole concert. Can you even believe it? But she's here helping out. We're going to just kind of hang out and get some things done. The kids are eating lunch. She brought them some Subway. So they're off eating lunch, and then we're finishing up in the kitchen, and then we're going to head out, have some lunch, go to my doctor's appointment, and then we'll come back and I will share with you the furniture and stuff that we got off of Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so hours have went by. I went to my doctor's appointment. I have come back now, and the focaccia bread has risen. Actually, I was a little nervous that it was a little too high. I wasn't sure how much it was going to rise more in the oven. So we're going to take a chance. It actually ended up turning out very well. So spoiler alert there. Focaccia bread, I have made this now a couple of different ways. I've made it more like a breadstick, and my kids really, really love that too. This is more of a breakfast or dessert. I am just putting, I think the recipe originally did like raspberry jam, which I'm sure would be really delicious too. I don't have that on hand. What I have is the homemade strawberry jam that I make. So I just took out a small jar of that. I put some dimples in the bread with my fingers, some olive oil, and I am just kind of smearing a good amount of the strawberry jam into all the dimples, and then I'm going to bake it. Now, whenever I get it out of the oven, we're going to, while it's still hot, we'll poke holes, and we're going to put more jam in. It kind of melts into those holes. It was truly delicious. You can also make like a icing to go on top. You don't have to. I also thought about adding like a powdered sugar. So, you could do this a variety of ways, but this way was really good. I thought this bread was delicious, and it worked out. It was so easy too. So if you are a little hesitant with like bread recipes and stuff, definitely give this one a try. This one was considered like a fast one. I used yeast. I still have to work on getting my sourdough starter going, but this was a really great recipe. And even though it took all day for multiple rises and stuff, it was really super quick to put together and really easy. So if you're interested in trying this, I will have this recipe down below in the description box. Okay, so this is actually another day. It got super late, and what you'll see throughout this video is it's pretty much throughout a week in our house, so you'll see different days throughout this video. This is the furniture that I found on Facebook Marketplace. So it had the 2 chairs and a table for $30. The table did not come like falling apart like this. My husband, he started taking it apart, and I'm like, oh wait, let me get a before. So it did not come like that. However, it was very wonky. The chairs, they needed a little bit extra support. They needed cleaned and repainted. And this table, the top was, you can't really tell, and I couldn't even tell right away, but it had like waves in it. And so we ended up taking off the top. We're going to put some tiles on it and just kind of redo everything, give it a nice fresh look. We're also going to be working on this outside area. It had just stormed. There's a ton of leaves. There's a ton of dirt. We needed to move the furniture since it hasn't been moved since last fall. So like we haven't done anything with it, because it's been winter. So this will be the first time we're going to clean up this area. We're going to kind of work on the furniture and get this area nice and put together. So my husband, like I said, he started taking off this frame. We did end up keeping it because it might be something that I can use afterwards. I'm not quite sure. So we did keep that part, and he's just kind of trying to take it off, and really it's just popping right off because the wood that's under this is just so wet and damaged. So anyway, he's going to take off the top. It's wonky, and I mean, you wouldn't be able to sit any drinks or anything on it because it was just so like wavy. After we took it off though, we thought it kind of looked neat, and so we're going to let it dry out, and we might end up me probably weaving colored thread or something through it. We'll see if I end up keeping it as a decoration, but I'll show that to you in just a minute. My initial thoughts on the table, and like I said, we have not gotten this far quite yet, but my initial thoughts are to use some leftover tiles that we have and put them on the top and create like a tiled layer up top. And that way people can put their drinks on and stuff like that, and not worry about them tipping over. So like I said, whenever I get there, I'll end up showing you what we end up with, but we just did not do that. We didn't finish it up in this video. We were trying to kind of work with the rain this week. It's supposed to rain off and on a majority of this week. So we weren't sure what we were going to get to in that amount of time, and we were just trying to get to what we could whenever we were able to. So here's the top, and I thought it looked really cool. There are a little spots, you know, here and there, but I feel like maybe there's something, you know, artsy that I could do with it. So we ended up putting that in our golf cart garage here in the back, and just to kind of dry out, and I'll get to it whenever I can kind of think what I want to do with it. So I am moving on to the chairs. Kyle put it up on this table for me since I can't really like bend over for an extended time. So I'm just scrubbing them, and honestly the paint is like coming right off. So I'm going to scrub them, get them nice and clean. I'll wipe them down also, and then we're going to give them a fresh coat of paint. I also forgot to mention that some of the binding on these are coming off in various areas. And one, I wasn't really sure how I'm supposed to fix that. So what I did was I bought just like a binding at the store, and it's not the same, but it did work out. And I just wrapped those around the joints and stuff that needed repaired. And then I go ahead and I do glue them with Gorilla Glue, and we also will paint them. And so that is what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to like bind it so they stay together really well, and I'm not worried about them like falling and breaking on someone or something. So I'm just kind of weaving them in. I'm tying them, but I'm also using glue, and then just fixing all of the joints. I don't feel like, and now that it's done, I feel like you can't really tell very much. So I was pretty happy with how it turned out. So while I'm working on that, Kyle is starting on the cleanup for around here. So if you have been here since last year, you might notice that we have taken down the bar and like all of the cabinets that we built around the grill. So there was a variety of different reasons for that. One of them was our back area is super weird laid out. Like the shape of it is not a stop sign. I don't know. It's super weird. It's like shaped like a yield sign, maybe. So it is just a very odd shape, and it goes around our pool. And so with that shape and the pool, sometimes we get a little nervous, like if there's not enough room, like we don't want someone falling in the pool because there's not enough room to walk. So for that, there was room when we had the bar up, but it just, I don't know, it wasn't like a huge spot, and Kyle, you know, and we kind of worried about it sometimes. So we took that down, and that's where we're going to add our new seating in, is just where that bar was, but it's going to be laid out in a way to where you can still walk through that area. We can move the chairs if we want, you know, it's not that big of a deal. So we ended up taking that out, and he's going to move his grill. I don't know why I can't think of the word grill this morning. He's going to move his grill over, And I think we're just going to kind of line them up to where the other one was. We have so much work to do back here. It's really hard to explain because it's like I can see it in my head, but explaining like where everything is, it's just so difficult. So whenever we get to that project, I will absolutely show you. But we're just kind of taking some things down. We're moving everything. As you can tell, it really, really needed cleaned. He thought about getting the pressure washer out, and I don't remember why he decided ultimately not to, but this worked out just fine. So what he did was so our fence area, it has a lot of dirt there. And so he kind of just raked a lot of the leaves and the dirt that had built up. He got that all out. And then, like I said, he went through here and with the broom and some dish soap and just kind of scrubbed like the crevices of this. It's not completely smooth. It has a bunch of like little divots and it's really hard to see, but if you can see like an oval outline here, that's where the water tends to build up, by the way. But before we lived here, there used to be a large hot tub, an oval shaped hot tub, and it was right here in this area. And so it's actually difficult to put like furniture and stuff here because it's not at all even. So it's not like a flat surface, and then water also will kind of go, it has like a groove where the liner of the hot tub was, and water will build up there. So anyway, he was sweeping all that up, getting it all cleaned up, and I am still over here working on these chairs. I have them all clean. I have the binding on them, and they just feel so much more sturdy. So now I'm going in and I'm painting them. This paint color, I tried to go in and find the closest I could to like a brown wicker, and I used a semi-gloss because I wanted it to have some gloss to it. I do also plan on going over these with like a sealant, so I will do that. You won't end up seeing me do it, but I do that another day where I go over these with a sealant. For these, I actually completely forgot. So I went to go look. It came with cushions. However, they were really, really bad. So we ended up getting rid of those. And when I went online to look at cushions popped up and I'm like, wait, I already own those. So I did not actually have to buy any cushions for this. Really, all we bought was like the binding and paint. And I think that's it so far. So the cushions we actually had up in Illinois. Kyle had built a sectional for us, like for our deck up in Illinois. And we did not bring the sectional, like the wood pieces for it, because it was so heavy and just huge. And we were moving like our entire life hours away. So that was something we ended up, I don't know if we sold or I don't know what happened with it, but we left that up in Illinois. But we did bring all the cushions because if you've ever had to buy cushions, they are so expensive. So we kept those and they've been sitting in our storage room downstairs for a while. So I use those for these chairs. If you're curious what that box is with like the bricks on top. So we're planning on getting like an outdoor fireplace and it's going to go up there. I believe we're going back and forth on the wood, either painting it or staining it underneath those bricks. But we really like how it turned out. Kyle used the wood from the bar that we took down to build that. So that was nice. This is how the paint turned out on the chairs. Absolutely love how they turned out. And I actually was looking online to try to find either these exact chairs or similar ones, and I could not find any. So the closest I was able to come up with were that these were 1970s chairs, and they were selling for about $800. Like I said, I was not able to find these exact ones, just something that was somewhat similar. And I just thought they were so, so cool. So if you have any of these chairs or if you've seen any of these chairs, I'm really curious. Do you know like when they're from? I don't really have plans on selling them. I personally thought I got a really great deal and I'm just so excited about them. So anyway, this is the area as of right now. We finished cleaning it up and it just looks so much better. we will slowly over the next month or so add in our finished pieces and really figure out our back area, and then we will be opening up our pool. So I'm really excited to get out here and start working on things. This is a new day, and it had just finished raining, but then also is about to start raining again. So again, we're trying to kind of fit things in where we can. I was talking to Kyle about wanting to plant a couple of things in the garden. And he had mentioned, well, I could help you with that this weekend or whatever. But Lincoln, my 8-year-old, he's always listening, and he was like, I'll help you plant some things in your garden, Mom. So he came out here and he is planting some onions. He has been such a really great helper. I mean, everybody has, but it's just funny because he'll listen in, and he always is one to volunteer. He's always one to volunteer to help me with anything I have going on. And after this, he was like, I really had fun working in the garden with you. So anyway, he is going to finish planting up those. We'll close those up, and then we're going to move right along to the next thing. Something I have been working on for at least a year now, a really, really long time, definitely, is I'm wanting to do like a collage wall in my living room. So frames are expensive. I have been just on the hunt for the last year building up all of these frames. Some of them are recent, some of them are over a year old. Whenever I find one, I go ahead and I pick it up. And so now what I did that evening was I actually just took all of the frames apart. I cleaned them all really well, and then I tried to figure out what I was going to do in terms of what canvases were going to go in what frame. So now I have them all framed. This is yet another day, and I'm going to show you all of the things that I have been collecting over the years and what I'll be piecing together in my collage wall that's going to go in the living room. You're not going to end up seeing how this is going to turn out, only because I plan on painting. We have lived here for quite a while, and I don't really think I'm going to go crazy with paint colors, but it just needs a really fresh coat of paint. It's been, I think, like 5 years. So we need some new paint, and I plan on painting before I put these up. So I just wanted to show what I was planning on using. We're also going to be doing another collage wall, but I think I have to save a couple more frames before I can start on that. So I'm on the hunt for some more frames and canvases, and then we'll go and do another collage wall in my bedroom. All of these were canvases that I ordered online for only like a couple bucks. This was a mirror, obviously. I found this over a year ago, and it had a set with it that I've used somewhere else in the house. But yeah, just a variety of things that I've collected, and I was really excited to finally be piecing this together. It has been so long, and so it feels really good to finally be at a point where I have like this collection started, at least. I plan on adding to it over the years, but it felt really good to be seeing some of it finally. So I was just showing you the price of this. I think this one is one of my this one is like my favorite. I just feel like, I don't know, I love the vibes of this painting. So anyway, showing you the details of the frame, and that is pretty much it. So I'll finish up showing you a little bit more details from what we are going to be using, and whenever we actually get to it and painting and hanging these on the wall, I'll of course bring you along for that too. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.